Hello, and welcome back to the Reclaiming My Time podcast. I am your host, Christy Smith, and today I have the pleasure of having one of my great friends with me, Natalie Nicholson.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, my friend. We are so glad that you can join us today on the Reclaiming My Time podcast. And so, Natalie, you are a wealth of experience when it comes to leadership and business. But before we jump right into that topic, why don't we tell the people how we met?
Okay. So it was about 15 or so years ago.
Yeah.
We were in this organization,
Mm-hmm.
or you were becoming a part of this organization and
Right.
wanted to learn a little more. And we had lunch.
Mm-hmm.
We sat down what was supposed to be, I think, for an hour.
Uh-huh.
When we looked up, it was almost over 2.
And we've been rolling that way ever since.
Ever since.
Ever since. And so I have to say that, it's my greatest joy that you are my first guest on our podcast today.
Well, I am honored. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. And so let's talk a little bit about your background, Natalie. I selected you to talk about this topic because you have been a leader not just in business, but also in nonprofit organizations and just helping your community, succeed. So tell me how you got started. I mean, did you grow up and want to be a CPA?
I did not. I didn't even know what the term meant. But thankfully, my father saw something in me and decided that being an accountant would be a good thing for me, and he was right. So I started out as a CPA in a public accounting firm, cut my chops with internal audit with a couple of big firms.
Okay.
Did some finance for a little bit because I figured, hey, let's balance things out. I did audit, let's do finance. Ultimately determined that audit was my love and my passion, and was able to go back and head up an internal audit function for a global Fortune 200 company.
Wow, wow, wow. And just so that our audience knows, in case you didn't read the captions on our social media accounts, Natalie, in her most last corporate role, was an SVP, a senior vice president. And she was an SVP for a minute, right? She was SVP of internal audit as well as diversity and inclusion. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yeah. So she's going to bring it today. I know the people are waiting, and we're going to give it to y'all. Okay. So you left the role eventually, and tell us a little bit about what you're doing now.
So now, after leaving corporate, made the decision that it was time for me to take some time, focus on myself. It was right around the time of COVID. My initial desire was to open up a jazz club, as you know.
Yes.
Because my husband is a jazz performer, so we thought it would be a fun idea, something we had thought about for years. But unfortunately with COVID,
Yeah.
it was not, the timing was not right.
Okay.
So instead, we have a little event space called Delamar Place, located in Denton, Texas, right between UNT and TWU. It's for small events for guests or people under 20. And then I also do some contract work. I have a couple of clients that I do some light bookkeeping and accounting for. Just enough to keep me busy, but not to overwhelm. Not too much, not too much.
Now, one thing I love about my Natalie is she know a yes is a yes and a no is a hard
It's a
no.
hard no.
And there is nothing wrong with that. I love that about you. And so, wait, before we move to our first question, Natalie, I got to give a shout out to Nick Nicholson. And he leads a wonderful jazz band called Fingerprints. So if you haven't seen them play in action, I was just had the pleasure of celebrating Natalie's birthday last week. And Nick and his band show out. Okay, so check out Fingerprints if you can.
Fingerprintsband.com or go to nicholsonentertainment.com.
Wonderful. So this lovely lady here has taken all of her gifts and talents and experience in corporate and turn that into something that's working for you and your family.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think that's what you should do. Your experiences should help you move to where you want to go. And you've got to look at it as, what am I doing to develop myself and where I want to go?
Absolutely. Well said, Natalie. So let me move into that first big question, Natalie. And we have quite a few.
Okay.
Okay,
Let's go.
so let's do it. Okay, so let's talk about, this idea of bringing your true, authentic self to work. Okay? And I will tell you, women of a certain age, like myself, there's a new term for it, and it's called code switching.
Code switching.
Now, when I first heard that, I had to look that up. Like, I wasn't quite sure. But code switching. So, back in the DEI days, which it wasn't that long ago, however short lived, people talked about bringing your true, authentic self to work. However, others saw that as code switching. Did you experience that in your early years, or do you think this is more of a new phenomenon?
So I definitely think there's way more awareness around this than when we first started out in the work environment. I have to say that early on, because of the profession I chose, I didn't experience it as much, because in the field of public accounting and internal audit, the way you work and how you operate as a team, you're with people breakfast, lunch, and dinner in a small, cramped room. You can't help but be your authentic self. And it did lead to some very interesting conversations with individuals, because I attended an historically black college. I've got to throw out FAMU,
Baby.
throw my rattler.
HBCU.
And I literally had someone ask me, as I started in public accounting, what did it feel like to go to a historically black college? And I responded to them, well, what did it feel like to go to a predominantly white institution?
Okay.
And I didn't think about it that way. So it was, you had to be your authentic self because you were in such a small space together, it happened naturally. Now, where I think I saw it more was when I reached the senior leadership levels in organizations. And I won't say it was a hindrance, but it was something that could be used against you if you didn't perform well. As long as you were performing, you were okay. But as soon as you weren't hitting the marks that they wanted you to hit, then your authentic self could be used against you by saying you're not corporate enough. So that's why I think I saw it more. Not so much in the early years, but definitely as I hit the leadership positions.
Okay. And that does make complete sense, because then at those levels, you're starting to make strategic decisions. The leadership levels are getting to see you kind of up close and personal. So it's a whole different look.
And it's, to a certain extent, like I don't want to negate that it happens or occurs, but to a certain extent, as you look at an organization, it's a pyramid up. There are so many spots at the top of that pyramid. So the higher up you go and the space gets smaller, not everybody can continue up. So they're going to find a reason to move you out.
Okay.
And your authentic self, that's something that you can't combat. That's something you're not probably going to change. So it's an easy thing for them to use, you're not corporate enough, or you're not suited for this position.
Natalie, I hadn't thought about it like that. That's a very good point, because if we make that pyramid...
I did that for you. I set that up.
Thank you. If we make that pyramid, there's limited spots there. So well said. That is a great analogy. And even though, you may not be thinking, hey, I'm aspiring to be a CEO, the SVP is only, one or two levels from that spot.
Exactly.
You got EVP and so forth.
Right.
Okay. No, I like that.
You got the EVP and then the CEO.
Yeah.
Well, the CEO technically is an EVP, so it's...
To your point, absolutely. You're absolutely right. So let me move to this question: the corporate mass versus the audit lens. Okay, so think about this. Early in your accounting and audit career, what did professionalism look like, and how early did you realize or not realize that you had to code switch?
So, again, when I started so long ago, the corporate environment there was pretty static for everyone.
Okay.
It was a suit, dark or black, dark blue, dark or black, white shirt, stockings, and heels.
Wait, stop. Did you say stockings?
Stockings.
Now let me tell y'all. Okay, I have a lot of younger friends, and you better get you some young friends if you're a woman of a certain age, so you can keep up. And when I tried to wear stockings to work, they was like, "No, Christy, hard no." Okay, but stockings.
But back then, it was a mandatory thing. To have a naked leg would have been inappropriate in the corporate environment.
Really?
So you had to wear stockings. And it was also the time, and this will bring back some memories for you. You remember women used to wear bow ties or nets? So it was also during that time frame when women were wearing these ties or neckties
like
or bow tie around their neck or whatever it was. Again, looks very much like the male suit or counterpart of what they wear.
Wow.
So that's what it looked like when I first started. But that was all of public accounting. I don't know that you could have, because of the amount of interaction you have with clients, your attire made a difference. Not only your attire, one of the things I always laugh at, they wouldn't let us bring our lunch to work.
Why not?
We had to eat out because they didn't want the clients to think they weren't paying their people enough.
Wait, stop. Are you saying, would they pay for the lunch?
No, you had to pay for your own lunch.
Okay.
But you couldn't brown bag it to a client location.
Okay.
So there was definitely an attire and appearance that you had to maintain. Fast forward, I went to work for a company that's in the snack food industry, and there the entire attire changed. I remember the CEO at the time said, the most expensive thing we sell is $3. Let's just be serious. What are we wearing a suit for if the most expensive thing we sell is $3? Now, it made a difference if you had client interfacing meetings, you dressed.
Yeah.
But to be in the office, he didn't require it because the most expensive thing we sold was $3.
So what would you wear?
Sneakers or jeans and sneakers and a shirt. Okay. As long as it wasn't a t-shirt. Like corporate still doesn't want to see you come in with sweatpants, cut jeans, baggy pants, or a t-shirt. You still need to look presentable, but you can do so in a pair of jeans and a nice top.
All right. Well, Natalie, I want to help our audience get to know you.
Okay.
Okay. So you graduated from Florida A&M University, a premier HBCU.
Yes.
How did transitioning from an environment that celebrated Black excellence into traditional corporate accounting spaces impact your identity?
Well, I think I had the benefit of growing up. I'm from New York.
Yeah, there we go.
I grew up in a predominantly Black area, so I already had that comfort.
Okay.
I also was a part of an organization back then that allowed me to learn how to maneuver, learn how to, I won't say act or perform, but it helped you understand what it meant to be a mature adult, if you will.
Yeah. And can we just say that? What
I
organization?
don't know. We can we? Are you giving them pub? It's Jack and
It's
Jill
Jack
of America.
and Jill of America.
Yes. I grew up and I was a member of the Nassau County chapter.
Okay.
And so we did a lot of things with speaking and just presentation that allowed me to be extremely comfortable with who I was. I took that and then went to an HBCU which supported us.
Absolutely.
Which looked out for us. So when I joined corporate, I was very comfortable with who I was.
Okay.
So I didn't find the need to switch much. Now, I did work with people who did.
Okay.
And that was an interesting phenomenon because those individuals were older than me, didn't have the experiences I did of, going to an HBCU or participating in an organization like Jack and Jill. And they struggled. I saw it. And we would have conversations. And they would get mad. And I would sit back and say, well, there's a way to be you and perform. And if you do those two things, you should be okay. Didn't work out that way for everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. I can see that.
Didn't work out that way. But, I think the experiences I got when I was younger made a difference. Which is why I always tell parents, it's up to you to educate and train your kids.
Absolutely.
You use organizations like schools and other institutions to help you, but it's your primary responsibility to do that.
Absolutely. You know, and I was thinking about what you said, Natalie. So sometimes in the corporate space, when you get a confident woman and a confident black woman, I'm just gonna be real with y'all, okay? You know how Dion says it. Does my confidence offend you? That's my confidence that you smell. Okay.
And it will offend some people.
Yes. And so, like, I don't think that we can necessarily change that for some people because that's how they were reared, perhaps. That was how they grew up. But how did you handle that situation when you ran across it? If you could just tell by that, you know, working with that person or even if they weren't on your team, if it was a level up or across.
Definitely had that encounter. And I think the important thing there, and something that we as a culture need to do a lot more of and do much better at, is networking within an organization. Because if your only encounter is with your boss and your only experience with that level of management is with your boss, then it's your boss telling everybody what you're doing. But if you expand your network and network with your boss's peers, even your boss's manager, then other people have experience and exposure with you, so that when something comes up and someone says, well, this was my experience, they have an opportunity to step in and say, well, no. That's not what I saw when she worked on this project with me. So we've got to do a better job of our selling ourselves, because I'm telling you, our counterparts, they're out there. You see them in individuals' offices just sitting down and having a conversation. They go to their houses.
Yes.
They plan things with them. We don't do that as well. And we need to. A lot of it we don't do because, and I learned this during the diversity and inclusion time I had, our experiences with the people we have to work with are different. So, for example, a white male, when he sees a white female, that's his mother, his wife, his sister,
Good point.
his niece. So they know how to encounter them. When a white male sees a black male, that's his basketball partner, his athletic friend. We hang out, but
His black friend.
his black friend. They gotta have them. But when a white male encounters a black female, there is no previous experience other than nanny for them to relate to.
Wow.
So we have a much harder time making those connections in the work environment. But those connections are key for people to see who you are and what you can do. Unfortunately, we have to break the barrier. They're not going to. We've got to get in their space.
Yeah.
We got to tell them who we are. We got to let them know. And we got to do it in our authentic self. That's how I am. I'm a New Yorker. I talk with my hands. I got attitude. And they always knew when I wasn't happy with something.
Right.
We can be our authentic selves, but we have to network. We've got to get out and meet the people.
Okay, Nat. I'm going to go a little deeper on that point. Okay, you ready for it? Nat, think back. I want you to give us, and I say us, because I'm always learning. I'm a learner, continuous learning. Give us an example of how you were able to do that in one of your experiences throughout your career. Give us a real life example. Okay.
So definitely in the field of audit, one of the things that you do is you travel, and you're always sent to other locations. Well, I made it a point when I went to a location, let's say I was auditing a plant. I'll make it simple. Well, the plant manager is there, and you're going to meet the plant manager. Right? That's one person you can connect with. Well, I made it a point of meeting the plant manager, his counterpart, in other locations, because for audit, I wanted to know what the other location was doing that I could bring and share with the current location.
Okay.
So I met other plant managers. And then once I realized they were on a regional team, I wanted to meet the regional person and just have a conversation. And I preface it by saying, look, I'm in your area. I'm doing an audit of XYZ plant. I would love to meet with you and hear your concerns so that I can make sure that I address them while I'm on site. Well, then while we're having that conversation, I'm going to talk about myself. Let me tell you who I am, where I came from, what I do, what my experience is.
Right.
And I'm going to ask him the same thing. So how did you get there? It's starting those very intimate conversations that we're sometimes uncomfortable having, but we got to have. So that's what I mean. I would just make it a point to find a reason to meet them.
I love that.
And in that case, it was, I'm going to be in your area. Can we stop for breakfast? Can we stop for lunch?
Yeah.
You know, what time do you have in your calendar?
And so to that point, I mean, you got to be looking ahead, right? So if you're scheduled to go on a trip to Philadelphia, say for example, and you start evaluating where that plant manager is and how that structure is laid out. You got to be working ahead so you can get on someone's calendar, because it's not always easy to get on someone's calendar too. So I mean, you got to be looking ahead a month.
And sometimes you have to make it work.
Yeah.
If they say, "Look, I only have this 15 minutes left," I'll take that 15 minutes.
Take it, right?
Take it. Not, I was
flexible.
really hoping. No, take that 15
Yeah.
minutes. If they say I can only do it over the phone for 15, I'll take the 15 minutes over the phone. Because if I can win you over the phone, you might schedule time with me in person.
Yes, good point.
So I take any opportunity they give.
So flexibility is key.
It's
You
key.
got to be flexible, especially when you're climbing, right? Early on. Okay. So let's move on to the executive table. I know. So as you rose to SVP, how did the expectations around your voice, your presence, and any code switching that was applicable change when you entered the C-suite and boardrooms? Because let me just ask you a question to let the people know. Who did you report to? Did you report to the chairman of the board, or in your previous role as SVP of internal audit? Who did you report to?
So my direct line reporting relationship was to the chair of the finance committee of the board of directors.
Okay.
That was my direct line. My dotted line was to the chief operating officer within the organization.
Okay.
So it was definitely C-suite or above.
C-suite or above. Thank you. Okay. So tell us, can you give us a picture, can you paint a little bit of a picture of how you saw that shift started to occur, or what happened? Like, what are some different examples of, what the chairman expected from you?
So you would get, and it wasn't necessarily the chairman.
Okay.
It would be other SVPs or EVPs.
Below the chairman.
Below the chairman, right?
I call them the middleman.
I like that, the middleman.
The middleman.
High middleman.
Because yeah, it's a high middleman, but it's a middleman.
But
like it's these barriers that I'm just gonna say prevent easy access.
Yeah. And I think, I saw it as they were preventing the access because, as I said, the pyramid is very small at the top. I'm taking one of their positions if I progress up. So they're protecting their own spot for as long as they can.
Wait a minute, let me get a little, okay.
I don't know which one.
But right?
But I think that's what they're doing. They're protecting their own position. So what I got was questions or requests to do things that didn't make sense.
Yeah.
So one example I had, one of the EVPs wanted me to change my approach to audit to be able to identify risk or identify an individual who wasn't doing something right by the look on their face, like they do when a bomber is going through the airport. Look, but the bomber has a bomb on him, so his face is sweating because he's afraid he might blow up.
Wait a minute. Did he use that as an example?
Yes, he did.
Oh my gosh! I'm clutching the pearls. I'm clutching the pearls. What?
And my response, because I'm going to speak for myself,
Sure.
that's not possible.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even a realistic. We're talking about a company that fills out paperwork.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'm going to look at somebody and be able to tell that they filled out that paperwork falsely. Yeah. They're not going to sweat.
No.
Because I got to find it first.
And not only that, Nat, let me just give you an example. When I'm around my kids, I'm thinking about something else. I'm not even thinking about them. And I might be frowning up because I'm still over in this other conversation. and they think I'm thinking about them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what? Make that make sense.
Didn't make any sense. But I
Wow.
would get these weird requests of doing things that can't be done only so that they can go back and say, she couldn't do it.
Yeah, she couldn't do it.
She wasn't able to do it.
Oh my God.
And so that's how it shows up. You have to, and I spoke up for myself, but I kind of started to see the writing on the wall. When you get 2 or 3 of those type of requests, you're like, okay, y'all are setting me up. But that's okay. Because again, I knew the pyramid was small at the top.
Yes. Yes.
When you reach a certain level, you have to start making some other plans.
Yes.
You'll see a lot of corporate executives jump to another company because better opportunity. It's very hard to stay in your same organization and reach that top. So when I started to see those requests come in, like, okay, this is not making any sense. All right. I'll sit down and have a conversation with you. We can go back and forth. You can go back and tell my boss I didn't do it, but I'm starting to make my own plans.
And you better.
You better,
right?
got to.
You just have to do it.
Think, like I said, if you don't know where you're going, they're going to send you where they want to send you.
Okay.
So you better know what you're doing and how to get to where you're going.
So you know what? That brings me to another thought on that. Look, I'm totally off script, y'all. Okay, I'm totally off script, but
that always happens with us.
That is no surprise. Okay, so are you saying, Natalie, that if you're not at that level, okay, say you're a director or maybe even a manager, and your boss comes to you and they say, well, what do you want to do? What do you desire, Kristen? What are your goals, right? And if you're not sure, how are they going to help you?
They're not going to help you.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. If
That's
you're
it.
not sure of where you want to go, if you're not sure of what job is that dream job in the sky for you, then they're going to send you on the path that best suits them.
Say it louder for the people.
They're going to put you on a job that best suits them.
Yes. Yeah.
So you have to know what that dream job is. You should also know what the skills are needed in that position.
Do you have them?
Do you have them? How can you get them?
Right.
And I also say it's important to know who the job interacts with or the people across the organization you've got to deal with. Because if that's the job you want, you might have to convince somebody else in another direct line to move you over there. And I had that experience when I was in that snack food industry. I was on a project team where we put in a big system implementation. And then after you roll off the project, it was, where do you want to go? I said, I want that job.
Okay.
That job did not exist. But that's the job I want. But that job does not exist. But that's the job I want. Now, I want it. Let me tell you why I think you need to create the position, the benefit I can bring to it, and what I'll do with it while I'm there. They created the job.
Wow.
After they created the job, and I sat in that job for 2 years, it then became a premier job for others to roll through. We've got to move you along because we got another good person that's going to get. So I created a position in the organization that did, because I went to them and said, that's the job I want. Let me tell you why I think that's an important job for you to have. But you have to do that.
Yes. And it's so funny how that happens. When you created something like that and it just kind of blew up, it just suddenly becomes desirable. Like,
who knew?
Girl. Okay, let me ask you this. I want to talk about the authenticity trap in DEI. Okay, so now we're going to shift a little bit to your DEI role. When you transition from the SVP of Internal Audit to the SVP of Diversity and Inclusion, did you feel like corporate leaders truly wanted the Black woman's authentic perspective? No. Okay?
No.
Or were they just trying to meet diversity metrics?
They were just trying to meet diversity metrics, or not even trying to meet the metrics. I think they wanted to give the appearance that they were working against those metrics. And that's what eventually led to me leaving.
Yeah. And it's so funny because, it not just happened to you exiting that company. I mean, it happened to many DEI leaders across the globe, right? Well, I should say across the United States. just they're scaling back the DEI programs, and unfortunately, although it did benefit some people during those times, who do you think got the most benefit?
White women.
There you go.
White women.
I didn't say it. No.
And I was in DEI,
Yeah.
and I saw the numbers.
Yeah.
That's who primarily benefited because it was women and/or minorities. And again, as I mentioned before, as a white male is looking at a list of candidates, I can relate to the white female. She's my mother. She's my sister. She's my daughter. I have no relations, no connection with this black female. So white women benefited.
I love that analogy. You know what? And we talk all the time. And we might be talking about this, but that just brings so much color to me to hear that. Right? I never really thought about it like that.
It makes sense, and I'm sure if you look back in your career path, the individuals in the organization you probably had a closer relationship were probably black men. Because you could see them and you could relate to them. That's my brother. That's my uncle. That's my father. We can have a conversation. We can find some common ground. White females, you can find some common ground as well. We've got no common ground with white males.
Wow. All right. Well, we got to talk about that. How did you balance being direct and objective without being unfairly mislabeled as aggressive?
Ooh.
Oh, girl, I know. And an internal, I was thinking to myself when I was reviewing this question, an internal audit too. Like, right? How you do that, Nat?
Choice of words.
Okay.
What you say makes a difference.
Yeah.
And how you say it, not so much. But what you say makes a difference. And in my field, because I'm always bringing somebody bad news. And it could lead to a very heated exchange quickly. I had to make sure that what I was saying was factual and very clear and not disputable. Then it eliminates, well, you're being aggressive. No, I'm just telling you, here's the fact. A lot of times we can put our emotion in things, and I can speak with emotion. You know.
I know.
But yet leaving the emotion, I think, out of it is what takes the aggressiveness out of the conversation.
Okay.
It's that emotion that builds up. You can hear it in your voice. You can see it when they're coming. Take the emotion out. Use your word. Use the correct words, and the aggressiveness kind of stigmatism goes away.
Now, would that mean though? Because you say something, I say something. I don't say it like you just said. Then your tail feathers is coming up a little bit. So how did you manage that for real? Like, how did you manage that?
Preparedness.
Like okay.
You have to be prepared.
Okay.
You can't. You've got to go in knowing exactly what you want to cover and say. And although the person may send you off topic or try and hit you with that curveball, you've got to go back. You've got to recognize it. Stop a minute, think, go back to your point. Well, okay, I understand what you're saying. Don't want, but let me explain better what I'm trying to do here.
Okay.
You do have to. You have to be prepared because they're going to try and throw you off your game.
Absolutely.
They're going to try and throw you off your game just to see how you respond. They may not even mean anything bad by it, but let me see how you respond. You have to be prepared.
Okay, and that brings me right to my next question. The emotional tax of leadership. Okay. Research shows that navigating code switching while holding high-stake executive positions carry a heavy cognitive toll. How did you protect your energy, Natalie, and your mental health while managing these global teams?
You said it before. I have a hard no.
Yeah.
And when it's a hard no, I don't care who it's for. It's a hard no. And you have to protect that space.
Okay.
So most everyone knew that I work with, first of all, I'm not going to have a meeting at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's a hard no for me. It's my time. My kids were young. It's for us to get up, get our kids to school. It's a hard no. I'll be in at 9 o'clock. They also knew 6:30, I was out the door. I'm not having a meeting this evening.
Mhm.
That's a hard no.
Mhm.
Because I'm going to spend now, I'm not saying I never did it. There were
Sure.
times, especially since I was in a global role,
Mhm.
I had to get up at 2 o'clock in the morning because
Sure.
we were meeting with China. Okay.
Mhm.
But that's in my plan. That means the day before,
Mhm.
I probably left at 2
Yeah. Okay.
to accommodate the fact that I had to get up in the morning and do it.
Right.
So I have hard no's,
Okay.
and that's how I protect my inner space and my inner peace.
Okay.
You got to know what you're going to do and what you're not going to do and stick to it.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Because they do the same thing.
Yes. They gotta go to the lake house or whatever. Pick their kids up, do things with their families, and so we have to get more comfortable about our yes and our no. And our yes means yes, and our no means no.
And for Black women specifically, we are known to be caregivers. We are known to be the one that wants to make everything okay. So we take on a lot of other people's burdens.
Yes.
And I'm quick to say, oh, that's not my job.
Yeah.
That's
you
a
don't
hard
say
no.
You don't say that out loud.
Yeah, I do.
You do?
Oh, yeah, I do. If it ain't my job, it ain't my job.
Okay.
Why would we? Hey, I need you to do that. Oh, that's not me. That's so and so. Have you gone to speak to them?
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, that's so and so's work.
Yeah.
I don't want to step on their toes.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll work with them. I'll help them.
Yeah.
But I think they need to learn how to do this.
I love that. I love that. You have to be confident and not afraid to say that.
Not afraid
a lot
to say
of
it.
a lot of us are. A lot of us are. Wow, that's good. Okay. Did you view code switching purely as a compromise of authenticity, or do you think about it using it strategically as a tool to gain leverage, secure resources, or advance your career?
I think it's more of a compromise of your authentic self.
Oh
I don't
my
know that
God.
it gains you anything, because at that point you're acting like everybody else. So I think it was just a compromise of
Yes.
you being yourself.
I totally agree with that, Natalie. To me, when you're your true authentic self, that's your best self.
You perform better.
Yes.
You perform better.
You're bringing all of your natural gifts and talents to the table.
Exactly.
And that's what differentiates you from the next
Exactly.
person.
Like one of the things for me and why audit was very good is I'm a person, when I hear something, I've got to absorb it. I got to think about it. I got to play out scenarios in my head on how this might work. Then I can come to you with a resolution.
Okay.
So we'd sit in these meetings and a lot of people just spouting out things. And they'll say, well, you're very quiet. And I had to tell them, no, I'm a thinker. Let me ponder it for a bit.
Yeah.
And I'll get back to you. And then I'd come back to them, well, how about, oh, wow, I'm not an off the cuff. Some people are. Some people are, I can think about, that's not me. But I got to know that about myself.
Yes.
And I've got to make sure that others know that about myself.
I like that.
So you do have to speak up and tell them, no, oh, yeah, I'll do, oh, no. You got to speak up for yourself.
Yeah, so the loudest person in the room is not always the one that comes up with the best solution.
Exactly.
And you got to be okay with that. And I love that part when you just said you got to know that about yourself and communicate that to the people that you support, your internal or external stakeholders.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
I love that. Love that. Okay. Sisterhood and safe havens.
Okay.
Outside of corporate America, you've served in, I'm just going to go on and say it, as the chapter president of Jack and Jill, my chapter, North Texas. How important were cultural affirming spaces outside of work in helping you maintain your core identity? Now, I know you talked about it a little bit in the beginning, but I do reflect back on those times. I know you were traveling all over the globe. And you were still active in Jack and Jill at the time.
I don't know so much about the cultural side of it, but I did it for other reasons. I actually attended a training session. It was a week-long, the Center for Creative Leadership. I don't know if they still exist or not, but anyway. That week-long sort of psychological intrusion into my mind, if you will, helped me realize one thing. Because it was one of those where people filled out scores and they told you what they thought about you. You filled out and you compared what they thought. And I learned that individuals had much higher thought of me than I had of myself.
Love that.
And so that allowed me to say, well, wait, they really trust that I can do this. I need to speak up more. But what the psychological coach also then shared with me was, as a leader, I did very good with those beneath me because I was in charge. I could tell them what to do.
Okay.
But when I went to peers, I can't force them to do anything. They don't work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to learn how to
And
gain their cooperation in what I wanted.
mm-hmm.
It's a different type of leadership.
Mm-hmm. Sure is.
But it was pointed out to me at a young enough age when I could sit back and say, I didn't think about myself that way. First of all, the higher ups think more of me than I was aware.
Mm-hmm.
But I got to do a better job at gaining partners across the organization. That goes to that networking I was talking about.
Yes.
I've got to gain partners across the organization so that when one of them moves up and they're looking for a counterpart, well, I work with Natalie. She did this thing for me. Let's see if she's interested.
Mm-hmm.
That's that networking again.
I love
It
that.
came into play.
I love that. That's so good. That's so good. Good stuff. The unwritten rules of advancement. For Black women aiming for senior leadership, and I have to tell you, Natalie, I know a lot of women that are trying to move up
Mm-hmm.
in the same organization they've been in for a while.
Leave the organization.
I'm going to put that out there. Girl, can you say it louder? Say it.
Leave the organization.
Okay.
If you can't get it there, you can get it somewhere else.
You know who you are.
Yeah.
Okay. What is the biggest unwritten rule about corporate identity that they aren't taught in business school?
What's the thing about corporate identity?
Mm-hmm. That they are not taught in business school.
So, when you say corporate identity, what do you mean by that? Because that makes a difference.
That's a good question. What I mean is okay, Chrissy Smith, I'm just going to make this up, EVP of HV Capital, my husband's business.
Love it.
Okay, and so who I am in that role for that company. So I'm aligning myself to the mission, values, and goals of that particular organization. Not Chrissy Smith, Jack and Jill leader, or Chrissy Smith, mother of Mason and Madison, wife of Virgil, that person.
Okay.
Okay.
I think it's important. I don't know that I necessarily called it corporate identity, but I think it's important that when you are a part of an organization, you have to believe in what that organization is doing. You have to believe in the environment that exists, because you can be in a corporate environment and love where they're going, but the environment itself in here is horrible. You have to find a spot that fits your inner self. If you can align with a corporation that fits your inner self, then you won't feel out of place.
Yes. I love that. Yes. So good. Thank you for saying that. You have to believe in the job, the work that you're doing. Now, I'm not saying you can't do the work. Like, you can do it, your ability, but should you?
Yeah, your passion is only going to exist as if you truly believe in what you're doing and why. And along with that, that allows you to then look at everything the organization is doing, and you want to help in all spots, because really about progressing up in an organization is less about you doing your current job extremely well and more about how you're helping the strategic plan of the organization. And if you're not aligned with your inner self to what they're doing, you don't care about the strategy.
Yeah.
But you should.
Yes.
Because if you can make your job, your boss's job easier, then he's going to move you.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. And I will tell you firsthand, that's facts. That's just straight facts. When you get to VP, SVP, that is a whole different level, right?
Yeah.
So it's straight facts. Okay. Reclaiming your authenticity. All right. Looking back on your extensive executive journey across global organizations, what are your non-negotiables today when it comes to showing up fully as yourself?
Well, the first non-negotiable is this: the hair's gonna be in curls, and I've been wearing.
Wait, let the hair be the hair.
Let the hair be the hair.
Okay.
I've been wearing my hair natural
I love
for 20
that.
years.
Uh-huh.
For
Okay.
20 years.
Wow.
And I remember the first time I started wearing it, and I was the senior vice president of this global Fortune 200,
Uh-huh.
attending the board meetings, because that was my reporting relationship. And I was wearing my natural hair. I started to wear it. And I wasn't sure. I was really a little bit apprehensive.
Sure.
So much so that I asked my boss at the time, I said, I'm wearing this, is it okay? Is there a problem? I'm questioning myself.
Yeah.
And you know what he said to me?
What you say?
I didn't really notice the difference.
Okay.
I'm like, oh, here I am thinking I'm looking cute.
Okay.
He's like, I didn't really notice the difference.
Uh-huh.
So that's one non-negotiable for me. My hair is going to be that.
Can I just say, your hair is beautiful.
Thank you,
I
ma'am.
love your natural curl pattern.
Thank you.
Girl.
Thank you. It's a lot of work, but it's worth it.
Period.
Another non-negotiable, I mentioned some of them already.
Yeah.
Like the time I start and end were non-negotiables for me. And now in this stage in my life, as I told my non-negotiables, I'm working Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday and Friday, we gotta see.
Yeah.
We gotta see.
I love it. I love it. So you have reclaimed your time.
I have reclaimed my time.
And your time is your time. Looking at all the cameras across the room.
My time is my time.
Okay. I love that. Okay. All right. This is our last question, Natalie. Okay. Now it's a little bit, so bear with me.
Okay.
Okay. Life beyond corporate.
It's beautiful.
Yes. Okay, today you are an entrepreneur with your own event space, Delamar Place. You contract with local businesses, B2B. Okay. And you help your husband support him in his band. Okay. Fingerprints. To the Black woman sitting in corporate America right now who might be exhausted, scared to pivot, unsure of the path forward, what would you say to remind her that there is life beyond the corporate ladder and that none of her experiences, skills, or cultural gifts are ever wasted when making room for herself?
It's a scary proposition when you are comfortable in your living with the paycheck that you're receiving to leave corporate. It's scary.
It's scary, y'all.
It was scary when I took that step out and decided not to go back. Took a lot of thought. And it was scary for a long time. I think I shared with you, for the first year or so, I would get anxious that I wasn't doing what I was supposed to be doing, or I was sitting around doing nothing and that wasn't what I was supposed to be doing. I think we can get around it with one easy thing.
What's that?
We got to plan for it.
Yeah. There we go.
We plan for everything else in our life, but do we plan for that point in time when we decide corporate is no longer for us? We don't plan for that. And we need to plan for it. And planning comes in terms of, because I know a lot of my girlfriends who have decided to leave corporate ultimately had to go find another 9-to-5 job because it was finances. We got to plan for that. I know we like to give our kids everything and all the experiences, but we got to plan for that.
Right.
I've had a couple of people, medical things come up. You got to plan for that. So one of the things we have to do more of is plan for what our after corporate life will look like.
Yes.
And put a plan in place and follow it. And I think once you get there, you have no problem with it. But you got to plan for it.
You got to plan for it. And you got to plan for, I would just add to that, Natalie, you got to plan for the unexpected.
You got to plan for the unexpected because it's going to happen.
Yeah, because they could just let you go any day, anytime. And then you're off into a different season.
And I think once we get in the grind of working and we've got a good groove going and we're getting those on-target performance reviews, so we feel like everything's going fine. We can't get comfortable.
Don't get comfortable.
Don't get comfortable.
Do not.
Don't get comfortable.
Okay.
You've got to plan for what's coming next because, again, like I said, that pyramid is only so much at the top.
Good. I love that pyramid.
So you got to plan for where your jump-off point is and make it happen.
I love that. You know what? This has been great, Natalie. Thank you so much for
Thank you.
coming to our studio today. I've enjoyed you, and I know the people are going to love every moment of this
Well, I hope
podcast.
so. I've enjoyed myself.
And do come back because I have
I
many
will.
topics.
Oh, you know we got to talk about the kids.
Period. We got to talk about the
Cause
kids.
girl, we got that.
Thank you so much for joining us today. That is our time today at Reclaiming Our Time, My Time podcast. My name is Christy Smith. My guest, Natalie Nicholson. We'll see you next time.